Welcome to Lignet. I'm Kathleen Walter. With us now is Mr. Fred Rustmann, a former member of the CIA's elite senior intelligence service, the author of The Case Officer, and chairman of CTC International Group, a private intelligence firm in West Palm Beach, Florida. And Mr. Rustmann, as always, it's so good to see you. Thanks for being with us today.
Good to see you, Kathleen.
Well, the cover's been blown on this PRISM program, courtesy of Edward Snowden. What are the implications of this?
Well, you know, things have changed since the Cold War, and the emphasis now is on protecting the homeland from terrorist attacks. Therefore, I think it's necessary that we look at homegrown terrorism or terrorists that live in America who may have links to other terrorists abroad, kind of like the bombing at the marathon. What they do, and I think there's a big misunderstanding about what this program entails. What they do is if they'll pick up a lead, for example, pick up a terrorist in Yemen or Saudi Arabia or somewhere, and that terrorist may have linked to him certain phone numbers or email addresses or websites and this kind of stuff. What they want to do is they want to take that information, those leads, and run it through this vast database of all of our email addresses and all of our telephone numbers to see if there are any links, any connections. If there are, then they start an investigation. So they don't start an investigation until they find the link. The terrorist called this number, why? Or this number called the terrorist, why? So that's how it works. And in my view, it's a necessary thing. It's good that we have that capability. And it's a necessary thing for the protection of the homeland.
Can the government, though, misuse this information? And what safeguards are in place to make sure that the government doesn't abuse this program?
That's a good question. That's the other side of the coin. This is a good thing if it's used properly. If it's abused, then it becomes not a good thing. At this moment, this is legal. Our best legal minds have decided that it's constitutional, that it's okay to do this. Now that may change. The Supreme Court may decide that it's unconstitutional, but that has to go through the legal process to ferret that out. If the population doesn't have faith in the government, some faith in the government, and I don't think we've had a lot of faith in the government since probably Reagan, then there's the possibility that this information that they mine can be misused. And then that's a very bad thing. And I must say, with some of the other recent scandals coming out, I don't have a whole lot of faith that the government would not misuse this. And that's where the conundrum comes in.
Edward Snowden, the whistleblower, is MIA. He says he has tons of information on sources and methods. Did he defect? And what are the implications of his disappearance?
This is a one-of-a-kind thing. No other defector or anyone of his ilk has ever quite done it this way. Yeah, he got on the press and he's told everybody that, oh, this is only the tip of the iceberg. I know all kinds of things. I know CIA installations all over the world. I know CIA case officers' identities all over the world. I know what the NSA is doing. I know programs that the CIA and the NSA are running. I know all of this stuff, but I'm not going to tell it. But maybe he will. And he's in China. Now, Hong Kong is no longer British. It is China, regardless if it's Hong Kong. And now he may not even be in Hong Kong. I would say with a great degree of certainty that the Chinese are all over him like white on rice. And they are going to try to get from him all of that other information that he has. They don't care about this program.
So what do they want to know, and what methods would they use to get this information from him?
They would talk to him. They would debrief him. They would give him money. They would give him sanctuary. They would not extradite him back to the United States, where he will spend a very long time in prison. I mean, this guy has turned over top secret, no foreign dissemination cables. There's no question about his being a traitor and going against his security, what he has signed, his agreement. There's no question about that. If he comes back to the United States, he's going to jail.
Fred, what are the implications, though, of sharing information with the Chinese?
Well, we do share a lot of information with Chinese, but we share with them things on terrorism and stuff like that. There are certain things that we don't share with them, and that is, for example, who in the last 10 years have we recruited who are Chinese sources? I mean, you remember in the 90s, in the 90s when all of these spies turned up in Russia, giving away our assets that we had in the Soviet Union, in Russia. They all died. Well, the same thing's here. The Chinese service, the MSS, is very, very interested in what we are doing against the Chinese. And this guy claims to know that kind of stuff.
So, Fred, in the wake of this leak, should intelligence agencies review their usage of contractors? And the NSA trusted Edward Snowden. Should this now make us feel less safe?
You know, yeah, you would think that how does a guy like this have access to so many reams of top secret, no foreign dissemination information? Well, the fact is that in all of the years that I worked in the agency, if we were targeting an embassy, for example, and I were to pick the two people I would most like to recruit in that embassy, the first one would be one of the communicators, because they see everything that goes in and gets decrypted, and everything that goes out before it's encrypted. And the other one would be the chief of station's secretary, the little old lady in tennis shoes. I mean, these relatively low-level people would be the best source of information about everything that's going on in that embassy. Same goes here. This is a guy who worked on computers. He had access to everything.
Very interesting stuff. Fred Rustmann, so good to see you. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thanks, Kathleen.
And thank you for watching Lignet.